Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. Today, we're going to be talking about the strategic thinking of Sun Tzu. The strategic thinking of Sun Tzu. Now, Sun Tzu was actually a Chinese philosopher. Now he was born in Qi and lived between 722 to 481 BC. He was a general and a strategist that served under the king of Wu, King Helu, in China. His victories at wars actually inspired him to do a work called the art of war. The art of war. According to Sun Tzu, the best way to win a war is without shooting a bullet. Now, he declared that to subdue an enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. According to him, the thwarting of an enemy through defeating of his strategy before fighting actually begins and separating him from his allies is the best course of action. According to him, the accumulation of intelligence of intelligence on the strengths and weaknesses of your enemy is critical for the success of a war. So now let us look at the basic elements of Sun Tzu's strategic thinking. The first one is that you have to appear weak even when you are strong. Demonstrate to your opponents that you are very weak even when you know that deep down you are actually a very strong contender. Now, number two strategic thinking is that the supreme act of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. The supreme act of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. And how do you do this? You understand? It is actually by gathering very good evidence against, very good intelligence against your enemies, and then ensure that all you hit their strong base. Now, the next point is that if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not to fear not to fear the result of 100 battles. So if you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. So according to him, if you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. So it is actually very important that you know the enemy, you know their capabilities, you know their weaknesses before you actually go to war. So that is actually another point. Another point, according to him, is that you have to avoid what is strong and strike what is weak. Go to the weaker aspect of the enemies, of the enemy, and then you hit what is weak. Don't go and strike what is strong, because at the end of the day, that alone will actually weigh you down in the process of the war. So now another point again is that he who wishes to fight must first count the costs, because whether I like it or not, there will be costs. There will be cost implication of a fight that you want to start. So that is actually that. Then another point again is that let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. You understand? Let your plans be as dark as the night, so that when you move during the daytime, they will know that you are falling like a thunderbolt. The next one is that the supreme excellence lies in breaking the enemy's resistance. Another point is that victories, okay, victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek the win. So you have to win first before you go to war, because once you are able to subdue the enemy, going into the real battle will be like it will be like you are actually fulfilling all righteousness. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. That is the greatest victory. Okay. The next one is that, okay, there's no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged war. Don't allow your war to be too prolonged. Don't allow your war to be too prolonged. Go into the battle, fight the war, and then come out of it. Okay, so that is actually another point. Another point is that treat your men as you would treat your own beloved sons, and they will follow you to the deepest valley. Anybody that is helping you to fight the war, please hold that person very dear to your heart. Do not allow that person to just flip away just like that. Okay, the next point is that you should move as swift as the wind and closely formed as the wool. Attack like the fire and be still as the mountain. Attack like the fire and be still as the mountain. Okay, so that's actually for that. The next one is that when you surround an enemy, leave an outlet free. Do not press a desperate foe too hard. So when you surround an enemy, leave an outlet for that enemy to escape. When you are fighting a war, whether it is a misunderstanding in the office, whether it is actually a problem you're having with siblings, whether it's a problem you're having with your spouse, or the problem you're having with your children or with your neighbors, ensure to actually leave an outlet. Ensure to leave an outlet when the ensure to leave an outlet that the person can actually flee eventually. Don't press a desperate foe too hard or for too long. Okay? Then the next one is that the act of war is vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road to either safety or ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. So war, in a way, you understand, is to avoid what is strong and strike what is weak. Okay, so basically what Sun Tzu is actually talking about is that, yes, it is actually very good to be very diplomatic in actually approaching a war. Don't go all out and get your enemy to get to understand your next move. Even in life, you can apply this strategic thinking to your life. At every point in time, start with the known to the unknown. Do not actually start with a hard thing. Start with the things that is possible for you to achieve. Then you go to the complex one. So it is very important that in our everyday life, that is how we should actually apply, that is, the strategy we should apply to our lives. So it is with states, countries, and all of that, and even the international system. If the Nigerian government wants to fight banditry to a standstill, wants to fight terrorism to a standstill, they should actually not make noise about it. Now, the military should be quiet about their plans and then hit them, use their own tactics against them, because that is exactly what they do. The guerrilla warfare tactics that they use to actually hit states. If the states can actually reply them using the same tactics, you find out that they too will actually be disorganized. So that is the strategic thinking of Sun Tzu. Thank you very much.